If you live in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Louisiana, basically, if you live in the Deep South, we are on a completely different season. We're already past our spring, and we're just a few weeks away from summertime, full-blown summer. And if you don't know what to plant right now, you're gonna miss this window. So let's get into it. Welcome back to GrowFit Florida. I'm Jermaine, and I grow food right here in beautiful West Central Florida, Zone 10A. It is a windy day outside today, so bear with me. Let me give you guys this information so you can go out and get your garden together. So let's go. Now, you guys know I'm based in Florida, but everything I'm about to cover today, it applies to pretty much anyone growing in the South. If you're in 8B down to 10B, so Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, probably South Carolina, Texas, you're just about in the same boat that we're in right now. The same heat is coming, the same humidity, close to the same humidity. Ain't nothing like Florida humidity. And the same windows are closing. So today I'm gonna walk you through 6 crops that I'm putting in the ground or have put in the ground recently, plus 10 more proven crops you're gonna be able to get in your soil right now and start getting some food growing this upcoming summer. These are the things that love our South heat. They will keep producing all summer while most of the gardens like shut down because it's too hot and it's like, all right, I'll come back in the fall. Nah, I'm gonna give you some stuff where you still gardening in the summertime and it's gonna be low effort crops. Because you guys know I like that. Up north, spring is just getting started. Down here, spring is already wrapping up. We're heading into summer, which means 90-degree heat, high humidity, and afternoon rain every day, especially if you're in Florida. Most cool season vegetables, they can't handle that. Spinach bulks, the lettuce, it always gives up. Most tomato varieties, they stop setting fruit when it gets too hot, like the heat that we're about to experience very soon. But there's a whole category of crops that are literally built for what we're about to experience. Tropical crops, deep-rooted perennials, plants that came from climates that look like ours. After this cold snap that we had earlier this year in Florida, I watched which plants survive and which ones rebounded the quickest. Every single plant that bounced back strong, fast, and some of them already getting ready to set some fruit or give us some vegetables. They were deep-rooted tropical perennials. I know that's a long word. I know you're like, what does that mean? Well, I'm about to show you. So instead of fighting in your backyard, taking those seed packages that you get from stores and you're just throwing it in the ground because someone in Michigan or someone in Iowa told you that this is good to plant, I'm gonna show you some actual things that you can plant and you're gonna get a lot of food from. So let's get into it. Now, before I go over this list, this is just a reminder that pest pressure will also be getting out of control as that heat rises. You gotta have a good plan. You can't grow any food if you don't have some type of a pest plan in place. So I'm just letting you guys know that I've already given out 3 videos so far on how to control pests in your backyard, in your gardens, to my Patreon members. If that's something that you need and then you don't have a plan in place for it, go head over, check out my Patreon, become an Inner Circle member. And pest pressure, that's something that I'm constantly, and I'm going to keep constantly putting out videos on to show how we can handle these pests naturally, so we're not out there spraying all this stuff, because even neem oil is a natural thing too. But even neem oil, if you want to grab some fruit or grab something to eat and it's got neem oil, you got to wash that off too. I personally like coming in my backyard and just being able to pick and eat, and my kids running and being able to grab stuff and eat. So I'm going to show you how to make that possible. Not for everything. Some things you might need some neem oil, but for most things I'm going to show you how. So head over to Patreon, Inner Circle. I'll see you over. So first up on this list, we're gonna go with sweet potatoes. Now, if you're anywhere in the South, pay close attention to this one. Sweet potatoes is one of the best things that you can grow in the South. If you have warm, hot summers, this is what you're growing to get yourself tons of food. The heat doesn't bother it. Sandy soil is fine with it. And here's the thing, you don't plant a sweet potato seed, so you're gonna get slips with this. And it's just, a slip is just a small sprout that grows right off a mature potato. Y'all remember that last video? My wife told us how to plant these. Let's bring that back so we can have a listen and we can learn how to plant these sweet potatoes, just in case if you missed that.
The best way, there's a few ways to grow and help your sweet potatoes sprout. The first one is you can put it in a jar and let it sit on the counter and it will sprout. So you put it in a jar of water, not all of it, shallow water, and it will sprout. The second way is my personal favorite. I put it in a shallow dish of moist or damp soil. You don't cover the whole thing and it'll start to sprout. You put it directly outside, especially here now in Florida. It's hot, they do well. So you just put it on a little tray of soil, a damp tray of soil, and it will sprout. You take those slips and you put the slips in the ground and you have sweet potatoes. The other way that have worked for me also is I just threw the sweet potato in the ground. It is slower if you do that route. If you take a whole sweet potato and put it in the ground, it's going to take some time, but it does work. Now, what I have learned through my trial and error of growing sweet potatoes is you never know when to harvest them. So sweet potatoes take about 4 months to harvest, but you can always dig around the soil to see when they're ready. And that's usually one tip. The leaves don't really tell you much. You just really got to know when you put them down and actually start your clock from that time.
And one thing that I would add to that is those sweet potato leaves, they're edible too. Those young leaves, they're mild and they're nutritious. So while you're waiting on your tubers to grow, you already got food in this plant. So let's move on to the second one. Come look at this. These are pigeon peas. I threw seeds in the ground just a couple weeks ago and they're already popping right out the ground. Right now, they're only about what, 3-4 inches tall. They're just getting started. And I'm showing you this because you're watching in April. You have the same window I have right now to put these in the ground today and get similar results, if not better results. So what are pigeon peas? Most people in the US, they've never grown them, but they're one of the most important food crops in the entire world. They grow all across the South, anywhere in zones 8B down. So Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, coastal Texas, Louisiana. If your winters are mild, they come back as perennials. If you get a hard freeze, they'll come back from the roots, or you just replant the seeds and see how quick they grow. This is just a couple weeks. Now, here's why I love them. One, they're a perennial in warm climates. You plant them once, they come back year after year. Second reason, while they're growing, they're fixing nitrogen in your soil. They'll feed the ground around them. So if you're building any kind of food forest, this is a big deal. And probably the third reason why I love them is because they're protein-packed peas. November through about April, that's when most things in our garden and most of our gardens, it starts to slow down. Your food production slows down just a little bit, but this is when you're going to be harvesting so many peas and they taste rice and peas. Oh my goodness. But these seeds about 2 inches into the ground. So just take a seed 2 inches into the ground. You don't need rich soil. They're great in our sandy soil. If you got clay soil, you can put them in the ground. They're fine. Give them room because these little sprouts right here, they're going to be about 4 to 8 feet tall by this fall. That quick. They're going to grow that fast. Now, I just tossed these seeds in the ground. I have more just all over the place. But just want to show you guys these right here. Get yourself some pigeon peas. So when my dad passed away early last year, I went through periods where I didn't want to eat. And then I kind of coped with it by eating everything. So I put on a lot of weight. And I'm still taking off the weight, even as we speak right now. One of the ways that I'm using to do that is my backyard. And how I'm doing that is, I told you guys at the start of the year, more greens. I'm going to eat more greens. Concentrate on getting my health back because I know that my dad would not have wanted me to put on all that weight and would not have wanted me to get away from my own health principles. So as I get my health back, I'm looking for things to add to our garden to eat. And the next one is a important one because it gives us an additional green, and you can actually put this in the ground or in the pot right now too. So the next one is longevity spinach, and let's go have a look at it. So most southern gardeners have never even heard of longevity spinach. They've never seen it, never had it, never heard of it. Because honestly, I speak more on Katuk, Moringa, and a few others because we prefer the taste just a little bit more. But if there's a close second or third, it's going to be longevity spinach. Now, here's the problem that it solves. When your regular spinach is done, it's bolting, it's dying right now in April across all the South, the lettuce is gone. Most leafy greens are just all about to fall apart and just disappear. But this right here, your longevity spinach, this is just getting started. It's just gone. This plant, it loves heat, it loves humidity, it thrives in the exact same conditions that kills all your other greens. So it keep producing for you throughout the entire summer. The name comes from how it's been used in Southeast Asia for hundreds of years. People there, they eat it regularly. It's been studied to help with your blood sugar, reducing inflammation, and supporting healthy cholesterol. So some people call it the leaves of the gods. Now, from a garden standpoint, it is incredibly easy to grow. All you have to do is propagate it. You just cut off the stem and you just stick it in the ground or in a pot like you see here, like I'm doing, and it will root itself and it will start to grow for you. That easy. It handles partial shade very well, which matters if you're growing this under a canopy. You can eat these fresh, like in a salad. You can blend it with smoothies, or you can cook it up as a side dish. Now, this works anywhere from zones 8, 9, or 10. Now, it may die back if you live in zone 8 when the winter comes, but in zones 9 and 10, it's just going to stay going year round. This one plant can turn into many if you put this in the ground by the end of the summer, so watch out. So next up on this list is Seminole Pumpkin, and here's what makes it special for anyone that's growing it in the South. If you live anywhere where you get extreme heat like we do, it doesn't care about that. It does not care about the humidity. It won't get powdery mildew like other squash varieties. And that squash vine borer, which destroys most of the squash plants across the South, every single summer, it barely touches this plant. If you've been struggling to grow squash in the South and to keep the pest away, this is what you want to plant, is some Seminole pumpkin if you really want some squash. We grow ours on a trellis. Back in the day, they say people used to grow these on live oak trees, let them climb up and hang down. Now, we got a live oak in the back, but I'm not about to do that. We'll just keep growing it on the trellis. It grows well in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, coastal, anywhere from 8B probably through 10. You'll be fine growing this. You plant the seeds now in April. You push them in an inch deep in a small mounded hill. Give them plenty of room. These vines can run 25 feet. In 90 to 100 days, you're pulling off a sweet, dense pumpkin, and they taste great. The flavor is like a butternut squash mixed with pumpkin. You roast it, you can mash it, soups, pies, however you want. We use a lot of ours for baby food. Our son loves them. They can store for many, many months at room temperature. We have still so many from last season that we're still going through and eating. And another thing too, you don't have to do what we did. My wife, she loves experimenting with things, and we like growing a lot of food. So we plant things very close together. Somehow we make it work. But for you guys, maybe you want to space them out. So Seminole pumpkins, any of your pumpkins, they can run. We're just about at the end of the list. Keep watching because I have 10 bonuses for you. I just couldn't make a video. It'll be too long. I'm going to give you those too that you can get in the ground also in April right now. But next up on this list that we have right next to our Seminole pumpkin is Calabaza. And this is squash. We literally have them both growing right next to each other. Like I said, we experiment, but we somehow make it work. So what is Calabaza? Now, if you ever eaten at a Cuban or Puerto Rican restaurant or a Latin American restaurant, you've probably had it without even knowing it in soups, stews, rice dishes, roast, mash, just so many different dishes. It's a tropical version of a pumpkin, and it's been a staple food across Caribbean and Central America for a very long time. It grows great across the South because it was made for tropical conditions. Regular summer squash get hammered by the heat, the pests. It is windy out here, y'all. Calabaza, it just keeps on going. It doesn't stop producing for you. You plant these seeds directly in the ground. Don't try to transplant them. Just put them straight in the ground. You can do a direct sow with these. Push them in about 1 inch deep, 3 to 4 feet apart, and in full sun. And in the heat, these things mature pretty quickly in about 80 days. That is, if you get started right now, that's about late June, early July harvest. And one vine gives you multiple big fruit. Each one is 6 pounds or more. Now you get these seeds in the ground today, family. I'm telling you, you will enjoy them. You will enjoy eating this. And you get a lot of food. All right, so bonus crop time. Let's talk about watermelon. I'm gonna add that to the list. Now hear me out on this one. The ideal window for planting watermelon across most of the South is late winter through early spring. For Florida, UF says that the window closes around mid-March. If you live in Georgia or Carolina, you're looking at March through probably mid-April for you guys. So right now in early April, those of us in Florida and deeper South, we're past the ideal window. If you're in North Georgia, North Alabama, or East Texas, you might still be on time actually, so you can disregard all this. But I'm telling you where we stand because I want to make sure that you are successful growing food this year. I want this to be the year that your gardens are just producing. But here's what I also want you to know. The soil is warm across all of the South right now. Watermelon needs the ground to be about above 70 degrees of just a sprout. And that's what we've had now for many weeks. Most varieties take 80 to 90 days to mature. So if you plant it right now, you could be harvesting in late June or early July before the heavy rain really starts getting up. Now, is it guaranteed? No. You got bug pressure. It goes up as the heat comes up. You got that cucumber beetle, aphids, powdery, mildew. It gets worse than May and June. We got our rainy season. Rainy season is, but if you want to try it, I'm gonna give you some of the best tips that I've learned when we push watermelon beyond the growth time that we should. So buy something like sugar babies. They're smaller, it works, or any other type of fast growing melons. There's more than sugar babies. And sugar babies aren't even my favorite. So just letting you guys know, being honest. You need that. Speed matters when you're working in this tighter window. You wanna plant your watermelon in full sun, direct seed in a small mounded hill. So any type of hill that you have in your backyard, or you can make one 6 feet apart because those vines will run. Again, my wife and I, we plant close. We experiment, especially my wife, and we make it work. So we try to grow a lot of food. Once 2 fruit are about the size of a baseball on one vine, once you get that, you want to pull off all the other fruit. So you want that watermelon vine to focus its energy on those 2 fruit that's just on that vine. Now, my wife and I, we have grown a ton of watermelon, a ton, just about every year, and rarely do we follow the exact window. And I say that so you know that even if you're past the time, it'll still be okay. It should be okay. But if you're not able to grow watermelon, if you don't get anything to sprout, or if your watermelon is splitting open because it's 95 degrees and you're getting constant rain outside, the seed packages only cost $5. So it's not like you're losing out on a lot. So just being honest with you, but I'm gonna add that there because we all love watermelon. And if you can grow some watermelon in your backyard to have for the summer, because you can store, oh my goodness. So let's get that watermelon, let's try. All right, so before you go, I have some bonuses for you guys. I know I gave you the list, but here's some other ones that you can get in the ground right now in April. Most of these are proven from much of the South. So if you live in the South, you should be good too. I'm either going to plant these right after I make this video, or my wife and I is going to plant them, or some of them we already have in the ground. I'm just not showing them. You know how it is. All 10 are verified heat-loving crops. They work in zones 8B, 9, and 10. Let's go through them quickly so you can get this information and go plant these. Number 1 is okra. It's probably the most southern crop in this entire list. We have it growing in our garden back here. I love the taste. Let me tell you a quick story about this before we get started. I remember many years ago when I first got my driver's license, I went to White Castle And I ordered like cheeseburgers. Do not judge me. You know how small those cheeseburgers was. And I was 16 years old or whatever, however, I ordered so many cheeseburgers. The guy who took the order, he was like, do you want to add some okra to that? I didn't know what okra was, but 16, I had my friend in the car and I was like celebrating. So I'm like, yeah, some okra in there, like balling or something, add some extra. And I remember I ate that okra from White Castle. And now a couple years after that, they made the movie White Castle. So at that time, White Castle was the stuff. If you've been to White Castle, let me know. I haven't been there in 20 years, but it was delicious. Since then, I've always loved okra. I like the taste of okra. So I know a lot of people don't like it. They think it's slimy. They don't like the taste, but I love the taste of okra. You can do a lot with okra. You can put some okra in water and you can actually drink the water and it's actually healthy for you. So there's so much you can do with okra. So just throw that out there. So with the okra, you want to plant the seeds directly in the ground, about 1 inch deep in full sun. In 50, 60 days, you'll probably be harvesting one of those little pods. Now, the key thing with okra is pick them small, pick them early, and pick them often. Number 2 of this bonus list is any type of southern peas. Cowpeas or black-eyed peas, they're just all the same plant. We also have those growing over there. Well, you can't see it. This is a staple across the South for a good reason. It doesn't mind the sandy soil. It's better than many other vegetables that you can grow. It fixes nitrogen in your soil just like the pigeon peas, and it feeds you. So the pink-eye purple hull and the zipper cream, I know those sound funny, but those are varieties that we found that actually work well for us here. I think that if you're in April and you're looking for something to plant and you live in the South, give them a try. So number 3 on this list is eggplant. Now, we don't grow that here anymore. I think my wife made a video on that. But eggplant loves the heat. You can get transplants in the ground now, full sun. You can find these at any I would go Asian or a Japanese type of eggplant variety. Be your best bet. Go with those. They're longer and they're thinner and they can handle the heat and just a little bit better than those big tall types that produce faster too. You can harvest them when the skin is still shiny. If it goes dull, if the skin starts to get dull on it, you probably waited too long. Number 4 is Malabar spinach. Now, this is not a true spinach, but it tastes like one. If you don't like longevity spinach and you just want more greens, give it a try. It takes off fast, full sun to partial shade. I personally think the red stem variety is beautiful in any garden. It's a good looking spinach to grow. And you want more greens like I do this summer to really improve your health, give it a try. It's a nice tropical green that you can add to your backyard. Number 5 is basil. I don't have to tell you what basil is. We all know what basil is. We grow a ton of it ourselves. Most people, they kind of think that it's fragile, but it's not. Basil thrives in our heat. It loves the sun. It grows fast. The key to keeping basil going all summer is you got to pinch off those flower spikes at the top. You got to pinch them off. The moment you get flowers on the leaves, it starts to turn your basil bitter. So pinch those off and it'll stay lush and flavorful. Sweet basil, Thai basil, all of them work great, in our climate. Bonus number 6 is peppers, hot peppers, sweet peppers, bell peppers, whatever peppers you want. Peppers are built for the South in the summertime. The warmer it gets outside, the hotter they get, the more they produce. So you get those transplants in the ground now in full sun. If you're a little bit further south in South Florida, give them a little bit of afternoon shade because our sun is about to get a little bit too real in the heat. So in June and July, they're going to just keep on producing if you do right by them. Us, like me and wife, we love Scott bonnet peppers. Like out of all of them, that's probably our favorite pepper, and we have those growing. You talk about a perennial. Scott bonnet peppers, like they'll surprise you. You look and you're like, I forgot we was growing these. So Scott bonnet peppers or any other type of peppers you like, it's time to plant them. Peppers are the one crop that it just makes sense if you live in the South to grow yourself some peppers. All right. Number 7 is Yardlong beans, also called asparagus beans. These pods, they can get 3 to 4 feet. It's crazy. Really, really long. You just like regular beans. You probably should have a trellis before you start these. Like, they'll climb fast. They go directly in the ground. You can sow them right now, and in about 60 days, you'll have a harvest. Now, in Asia and the Caribbeans, number 8 on this list, I'm gonna go with cucumbers. Now, it's a good time to get cucumbers started right now too, across most of the South. Now, my tip for growing cucumbers is get yourself a trellis, get them off the ground. When the cucumber vines sit on moist soil and our humidity, you're gonna get that mildew and rot fast. Let it go up a trellis, get that airflow, it's gonna be healthier. I know you guys remember I grew my first cucumbers last year, and man, I was so excited to finally grow some cucumbers. It felt good to actually see these cucumbers, grab them, eat them, and it was nice. Now, we're not growing them this year because I think I'm the only one in the house that actually like them, so I don't want to waste the space in the yard because, you know, real estate is growing food in your backyard, and you have under an acre of land. It's valuable. But yeah, you can grow cucumbers now. Number 9, I'm gonna go with sunflowers. Yes, sunflowers. Now, sunflowers are like a tool in your garden, which means your cucumbers, your squash, your melons, your beans, they all produce more because the bees, they show up and they go for the sunflowers, but they stay because they got everything else around too. Another story, when I was a kid, I used to be terrified of sunflowers. To me, they look giant heads on a skinny body just moving in the wind. Now I'm more like I'm gonna say like 70-30. 70-30, don't care. My wife, she loves them, so they're slowly growing on me. I do love the sunflower seeds though. Come thinking of it, I might, after this video, head out to Publix and get me some sunflower seeds. You could direct sow these seeds now, full sun. The mammoth varieties, they grow 6 to 10 feet tall, and they'll produce seeds that you can harvest. We did that last year and got some sunflower seeds. Now, I personally think that if you're looking for pollinators in your yard, grow yourself some sunflowers. You got to get past that. I got past that too. I know there's a lot of people out there like me, like, oh, they're kind of creepy looking, but I got past that. My wife loves them, so hey, I'm gonna do it for my wife. So here's something that blows my mind that I mentioned next up on the list is Luffa. Now, you know that you use in the shower. It's not a sea creature. It grows in your garden, believe it or not. Luffa is a warm season vining crop that does great in the South. It needs long and hot growth. You need a good amount of time to get this established so you can actually get the Luffa. So you have to get those seeds in the ground, like started like right now. You can harvest the fruit young, and you can eat it like a zucchini if you like, or if you let it mature on the vine, that's when you get your homegrown Luffa sponges. Now, we've never done this. We've got close, I believe, but I think we had, I don't even remember, but yeah, so get that. April, the perfect time to get those in the ground. It's a perfect time to get everything that I just mentioned in the ground right now. So I hope this video just hyped you up and just gave you some ideas. You can rewind it back right down and, you know, just get yourself started. I went over okra, southern peas, eggplants, Malabar spinach, basils, pepper, Yardlong beans, cucumbers, sunflowers, Luffa. You don't have to plant all those in the ground. Just pick 2 or 3 or even 1 or 2 and just get started. The goal is to get something in the ground while we still have this window, because when that window closes, you're gonna wish you did. Now, well, that's your official April plant list if you live in the South. 6 main crops. We got sweet potatoes, pigeon peas, longevity spinach, Seminole pumpkin, Calabaza squash, and watermelon if you're feeling brave. Plus 10 more: okra, southern peas, eggplant, Malabar spinach, basil, whatever peppers you want, Yardlong beans, cucumbers, and sunflowers, and Luffa. You could put these in the ground right now. So if this video helped you in any way, please hit that subscribe button, hype it up, let more people see this video to get this information. And I just want to say a special thank you to anyone who went out and got any of my books. I deeply appreciate that. I took the time to write them to try to help people. I write what I don't see. So I'm looking for something, I don't see it, I learn the information, and I try to present it in a way that can help other people the same way that I wish that I had. So that's why I make these books. I try to put it out there like that, just to simplify a process that people has been doing since early man. I'm trying to simplify this so we can all go out there and do it and get healthier and not depend on our government who's raising the prices on us, who's giving us food with all types of chemicals in it, knowing that it's bad for us. That's my goal. So that's my goal. That's my aim. And if you have purchased any of my books, wherever you purchase them from, please, I'm asking you if you can go leave a review. It helps get that book in the eyes of other people. Well, again, thank you guys for watching today. I hope you got something from this video. And until the next video, God bless.